Peace, 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 family. How you all doing? Hope all is well with you. My name is Keisha. I'm the owner of Astrologiks, and I am your astrology coach. Today, I'm going to be discussing Mars in Leo retrograde. Um, I am working on doing the December horoscopes. I mean, I'm done. I was thinking about doing them Friday at 8. So if you guys had questions, just send an email with your info and maybe we can do those live. Um, if you're interested, I wanted to give it a try. Um, also, getting your weekly astrology is probably going to be best as a coaching option because I notice everybody's just like super intrigued and overzealous about Pluto moving into Aquarius and what that's going to mean for them. And Pluto is a generational planet. It literally only moves 2 degrees a year. And so you're better off Pluto and Aquarius through Mars. And so because Mars is the ancient ruler or the higher octave of um, the lower octave of Pluto. Pluto is the higher octave of Mars. Jesus. Damn Mercury retrograde. Um, and so if you want to know more about how Pluto and Aquarius is going to be playing out for you, you're better off tracking it through Mars transits. So it's very important to know where your Mars is and where transiting Mars is. And that's going to show you how this energy is going to be playing out for you. Um, and so this Mars through Cancer and Leo transit is probably one of the most important transits right now. Um, so yeah, I feel like the weekly astrology coaching is the best option because you'll get weekly astrology specific to you and your birth chart every week, a week in advance, and you get to ask questions. And I have a whole bunch of other information in there that you can engage with. Um, but I mean, that's the simplest answer because I've been having a lot of people ask. Um, I am going to do some horoscope specific to Pluto and Aquarius, just focusing on the elements and what signs are square, trine, um, because I think that's also important and can help you. But yeah, I think those are all the updates I really had. But it's also important to know because Mars was in Cancer first that we've been in shadow since October 3rd. So any time from October 3rd all the way through to mid-January is going to be also showing you the shadow phase and retrograde phase between Cancer and Leo retrograde and Mars. Um, and so, um, again, it's really important to study both your Cancer and Leo area of life. That's going to give you a lot more information than Pluto and Aquarius because depending on the degrees that your Pluto is at and whatever degrees Pluto is in the house of, nobody's going to feel this energy. It's not going to come up right away like that. Um, but hopefully those little tidbits help. All right, so Mars entered Leo November 3rd. It'll be in Leo until June 18th. Mars goes retrograde December 6th to January 6th. It will move back into Leo in direct motion April 19th, again until June 18th. The signs that will feel this the most are Aries, Scorpio, because they're both ruled by Mars, and Leo. But again, everybody has Leo somewhere in their chart, and that's where you kind of want to follow for this transit. Mars goes retrograde every 2 years. It represents something that needs to be reviewed or revisited. And also, things are really, really going to slow down to allow us to rethink our actions and willpower. So, whatever house this is in for you, you might lose motivation in that area of your life, which is just a great time to go within, map out what you want to achieve, and even finding something more fulfilling. So I'd even say if you find that you started a project or you've even been working on a project and you just find that you have absolutely no interest in doing it anymore, don't be afraid to let it go. Or don't be embarrassed or worried about what other people are going to say, like, oh, you was working on this and now you're doing that type of thing, because this is a trial period. I always look at retrogrades as trial periods. You know, how you'll sign up for like Prime, but really anything, and you get that first 30 days free just to test it out and see if you really like it. That's what retrogrades are for me. You know, just a opportunity to try something different, see if it fulfills you and makes you happy. Even you might notice that you have or find motivation towards whatever this thing is because it's more fulfilling, it's more authentic to who you are and where you're going next. Because there's definitely an energy shift here. And so if you're doing something that's not conducive to the energetic um, vibration, then you're gonna feel depleted, fatigued, uninterested, just a lack of motivation, right? And so I wouldn't ignore those signs, but it also doesn't mean that you are what you're doing, you're not interested in. It could genuinely be health. And retrogrades also teach you how to take time for self-care, right? It'll force you to do nothing, put your feet up and be lazy, and that's okay too. Those things should be incorporated within your daily progress with whatever you do anyways. And so retrogrades can just be a reminder that maybe you're burning both ends of the candle. So this could be burnout and you need to rest. This is at a six, this is at 6 degrees, which is a Virgo degree, which means vitamins, minerals, and taking care of your health too. So don't ignore those things. Make sure you use this time to detox, flush things out, and then fill yourself up with more water, vitamins, minerals, healthy things to help with your energy. But ultimately, this is about finding fulfillment, and be patient with yourself during this time because I do think that it could get a little frustrating. Um, when Mars was in Cancer, it's very passive aggressive. And so Mars in Leo is more kind of in your face and you might want to fight, you know. You might find yourself maybe wanting to jog or move around um, to release some tension in some way, shape, or form. The need to do that might be important. So even working out can be helpful at this time, having a workout regimen, a health regimen, a daily one, but nothing too extensive, nothing over like 5 minutes a day, really, people. Don't do overkill because you really might hurt yourself with Mars and Leo can be like can lead to injuries when you overexert yourself or even try to force yourself to do something that you can't do. But perhaps this can be things that you can do in place, like push-ups, stretching, um, yeah, stuff like that. Easy workout um, things, not anything strenuous. I'd even say walking, trying to walk or go around the block could be pretty dangerous. Um, um, yeah, I feel like that's all there. So Leo is a fixed fire sign. And so fixed energy is known for being stubborn and really, really hard to change habits and patterns. However, during a retrograde, I think they're warranted, because fixed energy can also be the energy of retrogrades and or um, the energy of Saturn, having discipline, having systems and structure in place. And so fixed energy in that way, being stubborn, could act as a way to use this time to get more in line, organized with whatever it is you're structuring or working on at this time. Even if it's just like writing out your daily regimen and routine, and you're not actually doing it quite yet, but you're visualizing, thinking, like, how do I want to wake up every day? What is it, you know, hour by hour? What kind of things can you fill with that time? Um, Saturn um, is in Pisces right now. And so it has gone direct. And when Saturn's retrograde, it's like the teacher's testing you to see if you still behave when the teacher's out of the classroom. But now that Saturn's direct, the teacher's there. And so, what did you learn from Saturn being in retrograde as far as discipline, structure throughout your day, even business and business matters, how to present yourself, how to be business savvy, how to sell yourself or sell your business? Are you a brand? Things of this nature are things that you can be working on during this time. Again, it's going to be different for everybody, but more than anything, Saturn is like, whatever this is that you're planning, you're going to have structure with it, even if it isn't a business. There's still a way to do things that go that's like following the law. Or following the rules to engagement, whatever that is, whether you're in a relationship, whether this is with your children, um, you know, whether this is at work, whatever it is, this could be time management. Are you slacking there? Is that something you need help with? Um, how are you showing up and whatever this new thing is that you're building or creating? There has to be some kind of law that needs to be followed in order for that to work without things being chaotic or turning into chaos or, um, being a repetitive lesson that you have to learn over and over again. What do they call that? Insanity. If you find that you're struggling with these types of things, it might be a really good opportunity to get a coach and sit down and get a coach and work with a coach and or study those particular things, how to be a good parent, how to help your kids with structure, how to have better time management skills, things of this nature could be used at this time in your downtime that you can be working on building, creating, writing out, planning to help you build whatever it is you're trying to build. Um, also, um, Leo is ruled by the sun. And so these are royal figures, uh, kings, queens, presidents, leadership, role models, celebrities, um, things of that nature, bosses. Um, I don't know why when I was writing this, I don't know why I got royalty inside my DNA. This could definitely be like ancient DNA. Like I'm thinking of the cube and like Transformers. For the people who have been following me long enough, I like to decode all the comic book movies that they do because I feel like they hold secret information to things that could be playing out at this time. Something ancient, ancient bloodline, ancient DNA, some kind of karma being paid back to, or royalties being paid back to, or even like some kind of acknowledgement being credited to some of the oldest countries, continents, places in the world. I went to see Venom um, when it first came out, that whatever that weekend, I think it was like October 25th. And I couldn't help but notice the same symbolisms and like the portals that the aliens were coming through. They were like all black, but they had like fire around it. Kind of made me think of the same idea, something ancient and royal. Even aliens can be considered some kind of ancient or royal knowledge and information. It could even be that portals are opening to more ancient knowledge and information. We're definitely going through a vibrational switch here. Um, and so it kind of made me think of Africa. And perhaps they're getting, again, some kind of royalties or acknowledgement or some karmic payment back for things that they have endured or had to go through. Like it's their time to receive. Um, and then this could obviously be the royals, right, in England. Maybe something's going on there with them. And then celebrities. I can only imagine how much more stuff is going to come out about celebrities. And just questioning role models and leadership in general. It could be that there are more younger role models in leadership um, positions being given to younger people that the old people might not like, or there could be some kind of disagreements around, what they want to implement. I can only imagine. I'd be interested in seeing how that plays out. But there could be some kind of infight with that. But it'll be interesting to see. I also think Donald Trump might get shot at again. Not that I'm wishing that on anybody, but he's already been shot at 3 times, if I'm not mistaken, right? Mars is guns, gunshots, violence, blood, cuts, burns, bruises, fighting, arguments, right? And so they might try again. I found it interesting that RFK, is it RFK Jr.? I could totally be messing up that man's name. But I found it interesting that he's in the midst of this presidential election, like JFK. And I think to this day, he's the only president who's been assassinated. And with the changes that Donald Trump's trying to make, again, I really do think that somebody might try again. I also think that he might not get inaugurated. Is that what you call it? He for the something might go down at the inauguration for Donald Trump because all those things happened within that Mars shadow phase, if I'm not mistaken, anywhere between October 3rd up until the election, which was November, which is which was the shadow when the shadow phase of Leo, Mars and Leo started. And so a lot of the times retrogrades are also about um, like bringing something from the past back, so retrogrades are like, well, let's bring it back, or let's take it back, or let's review or revisit what happened. So these things can repeat or come up, but with more information. Um, and so I'm thinking, um, I don't know if Donald Trump's really going to be the president. I don't know. He could, it could, but I don't know. I don't know. I have to see it to believe it, to be honest with you. But we'll see. We'll see how this all plays out. Um, Leo also rules fun play, love, romance, dating, um, your sex life, your casual sex life to be specific, pregnancy, creativity, self-expression, um, children, gambling, casinos, your bucket list, so travel, vacations, and investments, um, your passion, your confidence. This could be like bars, restaurants, clubs, arenas, athletes, sports, the entertainment industry, amusement parks, film festivals, concerts, theaters. And so there could be like some kind of delays with these areas or in these fields, um, or mm, tours getting canceled or postponed, or this could be like people getting people going MIA, celebrities going MIA, but people in general. Um, or this could be like people who have already been MIA coming back. Um, some kind of regulations with casinos. Um, or there could be like some crazy stuff going on in the crowds, right? Because Pluto and Aquarius can be the crowd, the audience. Yeah, there could be a lot, something going on with these particular places. Maybe fighting, stuff, something could happen. I don't want to wish those types of things. I really don't even want to say it out loud, but Mars is, the energy of destruction, fires, um, fighting, bullying. It could be something going on with these particular places where things get a little too heated. I'd be careful for sexually transmitted diseases. I did do a blog on Mars retrograde on my website. You can go check it out. You can read all the things that come with Mars retrogrades. Um, yeah, be careful for, you know, sexually at this time. It could just be that people are not motivated to have sex too, or there's cheating and somebody gets pregnant. Um, so baby mama drama, uh, these types of things can come up with this energy. you know, um, co-parenting issues, your friends sleeping with a significant other, or your kids are going through these things. Maybe a child gets pregnant of yours, obviously if they're of age, right? Or they lose their virginity for the first time. I know that's disturbing to talk about, but this is what this could be, you know. Maybe they're just asking you questions about it and want to talk about it. It might be a little uncomfortable, but it could come up. Um, or again, this could be like bullying in school, kids fighting and stuff, um, craziness going on, um, kids having tantrums and just really agitated or having really bad attitudes. You might have to put your child on punishment. Um, Definitely an ex is coming back. Oh, and child support can be a big theme here. But definitely an ex can come back, but to prevent you from putting them on child support, or they might be willing to stay so that they can see their children, but they're cheating because they really don't want to be there. Or um, maybe you're finding out they have some kind of sex addiction. You happen to look in their phone, which I wouldn't advise doing, and see something that you don't like. Um, I mean, these are just the types of things that can come up with this energy. Um, or you're finding out that your child is like gay or lesbian. That could be a theme too. Or somebody that you're dating, you find out that they're gay or lesbian and they didn't say anything. Um, I do feel like sports, there could be some wild, wonky, like accidents with sports, like maybe somebody cracking a bone or something, or getting injured really bad. I don't know what sports season. Is this a sports season? I don't know. I don't really follow sports, but or somebody's getting in trouble for taking some kind of enhancement drugs. Um, that could also be another theme that comes up at this time. Um, I think parenting in general can come up as a theme with these kids, you know. Um, Maybe perhaps challenging us on our parenting skills and are we doing a good job? So this could be like a lot of fighting and arguing with your teenagers. Um, some kids might be running away and not really wanting to be bothered with their parents. I'd be careful with that, with this energy, especially it could leave them susceptible to being taken advantage of. Um, use this time to talk things out and not hide from difficult conversations, even if that means you have to like call in somebody else to help. Um, or like maybe they have an uncle or a cousin, grandma, um, or auntie or something that they can talk to, you know. Um, yeah, I'm just trying to make sure I'm not forgetting anything, guys, but either way, this is a great time to work on your self-expression, how you want to present yourself, your confidence, your willpower. If you're self-employed and you have a project, again, building a business structure for that. Um, Maybe perhaps this is about signing your child up for a sport, if that's something that they're interested in, or planning more play dates for your kids to get out and play more, find better friends, especially if they're getting bullied. Signing them up for like an after school program or something like that. Finding solutions to a lot of these things that I'm saying. With it being retrograde, it's time to address them. It's going to leave a lot of time to address whatever these things are that could be coming up. If you want to get pregnant, going to get your fertility checked or whatever. If you're having trouble getting pregnant, if you're having health issues, address the health issues. Um, yeah. Also, bosses can become super, super bossy, or just your friends in general. It doesn't even have to be just a boss. Could be family, um, close friends, uh, co-workers, bosses, becoming like super, super egocentric. You might find out that you've been friends with a coworker, friend, or family member for a while now, and they don't like you or they're jealous of you. Like something can come out about like, whoa, you could realize like, damn, I didn't realize you felt that way. Um, and that causes separation. Fire energy is like a smudge, when you do your sage to clear the air, but unfortunately it can come up in a very uncomfortable way. It could even blindside you, something you might not have seen because Cancer and that passive aggressive energy is bringing up things that, especially when you're super spiritual. Like when I think of Leo energy on a higher vibration, I think of like, this is my Care Bear stare, somebody who's super loving, giving, supportive. Um, when you're on that spiritual journey and you're just happy in being who you are, you don't realize how much um, jealousy and envy you attract, or how people might view you as somebody who could be a little uppity, thinks you're better than everybody. Even if these aren't things that you're saying, it's your demeanor and how you show up. So your self-expression, your willpower. Um, could be really spiritually strong here. Um, and it affects your light affects people's demons, you know? But because spiritual people don't tend to usually think in those vibrations, it might not be something you were looking for or acknowledged as a problem because you probably don't spend much time around people. We usually have a pretty balanced um, amount of time that we give to certain things because we have other things to do, right? And so when you're responsible like that already, it could cause a lot of enemies. It could breed enemies, and you don't even know it. And so this could be like people coming back, exes coming back into your life to further try to put you down and keep you in a low vibrational space to talk about you. Leo energy can be very tit for tat, likes to see what makes people tick. Pluto, um, that Pluto and Aquarius energy can be very, kind of a troublemaker, you know, um, very sarcastic. And you might find out um, it's going to kind of be super blatant in your face. You're not going to be able to not see, like, oh, so you don't like me. Okay. You know, um, This could be friends becoming like kind of bossy, um, and in the same way, you know? And so again, it's not about good or bad, right or wrong. It's this energy is going to bring up things that you need to see so that you can release it and let it go. Clear the energy or resolve the problem, right? Get down to the nitty gritty of what is really going on and use the retrogrades to try to fix it, right? Some people genuinely could be coming in for closure. Um, does that mean you should take them back? Well, that depends on you and what you want to do. You know, it's not all negative or all bad, but there is a question here of, is this aligned with where I'm going next? And so you should have a certain amount of questions that you should be asking people. Remember the Jupiter and Mercury and mutual reception. Ask a lot of questions, you know, with people who you call friends and family. Um, your kids can be asking a lot of questions. Again, they might want to know about stuff that might be uncomfortable for parents, but I think you should talk about it. I wouldn't leave these things in the dark, especially now with these kids having access to the internet and all that other stuff. You don't want them getting this information secondhand, um, because that again, it can leave them very vulnerable. Um, yeah. Also be careful with bites if you have pets or your pet's health. Um, I'd also be mindful of like alcohol poisoning, food poisoning, or even taking things for your gut health, like again, detoxing or vitamins and minerals for fatigue and headaches. Um, I just got some stuff from what's his name? Dr. Sebi, because I am Gemini ruled. It's in Jupiter's in the house of Jupiter. And so that means both Jupiter and Mercury are like sucking the life out of me. I was like, yeah, we're not going to be dealing with this. But even like it's almost winter, I got some stuff for like to take for like to prevent getting sick. Some sea moss with elderberry. I wish I can remember everything I got. I didn't bring my phone over here either, so I can't even look it up. But these could be good things to invest in at this time. Um, eating healthier, changing your diet, just getting checked up in general. Um, going to a doctor's appointment, eye care, dentist, you know, hygiene even. Um, especially with the kids, right? Maybe that's a kid thing. Um, pride. Pride is one of the hardest uh, deadliest sins to fight or get rid of or work through because ultimately pride is a replication of how you're supposed to show up in life, you know, um, very responsible, like an elder. You know, you take care of your responsibilities, you make sure everybody's good, you feed them, you nurture them, you care for them. but there's uh, a part where pride can be like, well, what's the intention behind it? You know, are you really feeding me because you care? I don't know why this made me just think of what was the name of that freaking movie? Um, was it Misery? It's not funny. It's not funny. Um, when she helped that man from the car crash and she ended up taking care of him and nursing him back to health, but then she got all fucking crazy. And of course, it's not to that extent, but um, just an example of, pride as a deadly sin. I think this can come up quite heavily um, to make sure that you're doing things for people from your heart and not because of what you can get from them or what you can get them to do for you back or things of that nature. I was watching um what is the name of that damn show? Alex Cross. I don't know if anybody's read the books and seen the movie. They did a really good job, by the way. I was proud of them. But the first episode, I think it was the hero complex. And they don't really explain what it is until like a few seasons later, but the setup in that first scene was so real. Like, um, he was in this loop because he had this hero complex. Dude, he was getting ready to retire, to quit his job, but he allowed that hero complex within him to stay on the job, to continue saving people. Um, which I found interesting the way they played it out. Again, they used it as a way to manipulate him into staying at the job. And not that they were doing that intentionally, by the way, but that's how it presented itself in the show. And I can't help but think about this transit as a masculine energy and how often that happens to men, but we don't really talk about it that much. They're just as vulnerable and gullible as women are, but nobody has this conversation because it's in such a different way than women, and it's more catered towards women. But working in the prison system, having two boys, um, I think about the vulnerability that is not attended to in young boys that allows them to be taken advantage of by gang members and how they get into gangs because they're looking for love that they're not getting at home because they're given this hero complex like men are supposed to be strong, you're supposed to take care of the house, you're supposed to bring home the bread. I mean, these types of ideals that we sell to our young boys, which are not bad, by the way. I don't think that they're bad. I think they lack emotion. Are you hugging him as well? Especially once they get of a certain age. Young boys, yes, mothers hug their young boys. In fact, most people hate that we do that. I think the hugs need to be extended because they're being manipulated by the lack of emotional comfort that they get once they get out into that big world, which leaves them vulnerable to being taken advantage of by gang members, um, gang culture, but even just in general in the world. And it doesn't really hold them reliable or accountable for being the man that they're meant to be or could be. You can't ignore your emotions. You certainly can't do it and think that you're going to get through this life and that not affect you further down the line. Watch the cross shows. You'll see what I'm talking. It's terrible how hard he fights. I don't want to give it away, but um, he fights to go and get counseling that he desperately needs. But the null and void is there is because the one thing he kept saying in that show is like, it's my responsibility just to protect my family, to make sure my family's okay. And again, I don't want to dismiss that that is not truth, but you can still be emotionally stable and protect your family. You shouldn't be doing that at the expense of your own decisions, things that you do, and the way that they're done. Huge problem in masculine energy, I think, that we just don't talk about enough. It's also, I think, has a lot to do with this gay culture that's out there now. Um, I don't want to dismiss anybody's sexual preference. That's not what I'm saying here. Again, two things can be true at the same time. I think there are people who could quite possibly be born gay, but I also think that people are turned gay through trauma. Um, I think of like butt bucking and butt breaking culture from slavery, and they do the same thing in prisons, especially when we're talking about Leo energy. Leo is the lion, he's the king of the jungle, and he needs to be seen as a power to all, no matter what it takes. And um, a lot of the times that might mean doing things in a ungracious way on that lower expression of pride. Um, and I don't think there are a lot of people who teach it or willing to teach it or even willing to talk about it. Um, it's no different than what women are going through, and what we deal with being vulnerable. And um, I just think it's just not acknowledged as much with men as it is with women. Um, I'm not a professional to talk about that much further than that, but I do think it's something that needs to be discussed. And a topic that can come up quite heavily, really throughout for this entire Pluto and Aquarius transit. Um, mhm. I also think this gives us an opportunity to meet new friends, new networks of people and groups, um, more people who are more supportive, more healthy environments work-wise. Um, mhm. Joint pain and heartburn are other health issues to look for. I mean, essentially, we're talking about leadership should come from passion and not domination. Don't let your ego dictate your decisions. And I think that could be really hard for people because pride is really blind. You're blind. People can be blinded by pride. Um, I also think this could be like fires and skyscrapers. Aquarius can be skyscrapers, those really tall, tall buildings. This could bring back boy bands. Um, or this can bring in a very proud romantic partner, somebody who's more aligned with your soul purpose and why you're here. Somebody willing to help. Um, and brotherly love. I'm pretty sure that's a song. I don't know the actual name of it. I think it's a Marvin Gaye song. Um, but I think that song was made for a time where strong men stood up and walked the towns, the streets to show pride, what it means to be a real man, and that you could still love one another. Um, I definitely think we are going to see a lot more of that for sure. Um, yeah, I feel like that's it. That's all I got, guys. I like this transit, clearing out energy space for new, more positive, fulfilling, joyful experiences, people, places, and things into your life. So, as usual, family, I love and appreciate you. I hope you found this information helpful. Peace.